Let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Share the live stream. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We coming to Instagram. We coming to LinkedIn. Good night, folks. And let's fight. Welcome in the ring. Good to have the couple of you who here thus far. Guys, I have a couple of you now, but I'm privileged nonetheless. I would start the show now. I don't work with numbers. I am not moved by numbers. It could be two of y'all, it could be 10,000. I still delivering what I got to deliver. Folks, it's good to see each and every one of you. Let me see who's joining this evening. Good to see each and every one of you. Share our live stream if you're joining us on Facebook. Retweet if you're joining us on YouTube. And we want you guys to subscribe to our channel if you're joining us on YouTube as well. Retweet if you're joining us on Twitter, and subscribe if you're joining us on YouTube. If you subscribe to our channel on YouTube, it gives you the option of getting the notifications when we come on live or if we post any new video to our YouTube page. And also, if you like my page on Facebook, Sharon Avery Duncan on Facebook, for those persons who are viewing me on my page or even on Twitter or YouTube, you can get the same notifications too. And also when information is posted on the page. Lots to discuss this evening. Good to have you guys with us. Share the damn live stream. It's the price of admissions, folks, and some of y'all are paying, Some of y'all have not been paying, right? Y'all like a lot of free things, right? That's why y'all get y'all wig pull off and throw overboard. Y'all might get bite. Too much of free things, y'all. Like too much of free things ain't good. Right? Sometimes because of the quality of the product, you gotta pay. You gotta pay for it, folks. So good to have each and every one of you with us. I am kind of gauging who is on. Good to see Kim Walker. Kitty is in the house. Kitty. Derek Smith is there and Paulette Hicks. Shiraz Ibrahim is there as well, and Pauline Chambers, David Wood, and all the other guys joining us live. It's Friday, it's our final show for the week, and we are happy that you guys are here with us. We are tremendously happy you are here with us. Well, it's the final show that we planned for the week. Who knows what will happen over the weekend and what we may need to do, folks. But it's good to have you here. It is good to be in the land of the living. It's not that true and correct. I am happy to be alive, folks. I'm happy to be alive. For you, I'm happy to be alive. For me, for my family, so many persons have not made it. So many persons, and I'm tremendously happy that we're here. Guys, share the live stream wherever you're picking us up. Let me see what's happening over on Facebook. Good to have you guys with us. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to call this evening. Again, call on WhatsApp. Don't call by ordinary phone. I'm asking you, don't call by ordinary phone. It's Flashback Friday, and we're going to be flashing back to that prayer of the police force chaplain that got him fired. Because when you understand the prayer, what was flowing in the man's spirit, you understand some of the stuff we're seeing in the police force currently. So, guys, we're going to put up our number. And if you guys want to call us on WhatsApp only, we're going to take a couple calls because so many people didn't get a chance to call last night. We were back and forth with our own challenges here. And we want to give you guys a chance to call, whether it's on the police force issues, on the flood issues, on COVID issues, so many things affecting people. Somebody called me this morning, people again fighting for their families, and said that her child was one of the children who would have topped the Caribbean region at CSEC and at Cape. And she would have seen there was an award ceremony recently, and their family was not contacted. And many other families, she went on to say, were not contacted. She said her child was one of the top students in the Caribbean. I don't want to call a specific subject area. At least I get people into unnecessary problems. But her child, and she said they were not invited. And she said there are other parents, other children who would have earned distinctions in various subject areas and who were not invited to this prize giving ceremony or what have you they had quite recently. So, folks, a lot of issues out there, a lot of issues out there, and sometimes we don't even know where to start because again, we can't pack all of it into an hour program, even though even though we want to give you all the information. And but at the end of the evening, we want to give you just enough, just enough to keep you guys hanging on. Good to have all of you guys with us. I am ready with our issues for this evening to wade into them. It is sad that while some of us are dry, there are folks still on the water. There are folks still on the floodwaters, and we are advised, for instance, in places like Kokwani at the riverfront, they are now 13 feet, experiencing 13 feet of water. 13 feet. Folks, I am about 6'2", right? So you know what 13 feet is. It's way above me. 13 feet. And also in Rockstone, the water level there has gone to 12 feet. And flooding continues in that area. So while the water is receding in some areas, they have told us there in Rockstone and Kokwani that even though the water is not receding, it is not rising as fast as it was going previously. All right, somebody's trying to call me, but I can't take this call. How it's coming up here? Why is it coming here? Let me see. Folks, I'm not taking any calls by phone. Could you please call me by WhatsApp? Not taking any calls by telephone. If you want to call by WhatsApp, you are free to do so, and I'm going to bring you guys in, right? But don't call me by ordinary phone. You call by WhatsApp, and we're good to go. So those are just some of the issues, guys, that we are contending with this evening, that we're looking at, that we are continuing to monitor. We have been asking for your contributions, whether in actual food stuff or whether you want to give us some money to help some of these folks who are experiencing this hardship. And we know we can't help everybody, but we want to do our own part here in the ring to help folks where needed and necessary. We have to just move beyond just meeting and talking. And I always ask you guys, what are we doing, for the struggle? One gentleman called last night, and again, people always say, y'all aren't doing and y'all aren't doing, but what are you doing? And so you have an opportunity either to, if you guys are overseas and you have family here, send them the money. Send them some money. Let them buy some food stuff and give it to us. We'll be satisfied. The last thing I want to be in is money problems. So if you have family here that you trust, send them the money. Tell them, buy a couple of things. And we're not asking for any specific sum. Somebody the other day sent me on MMG about $5,000, just over $5,000, and we're grateful. It's going to go a long way to do something that helps to alleviate the suffering of so many Guyanese. Folks, I am ready at my end, and I hope you guys are ready too. Ready with the hot topics. Good to see Sharon Griffith and Renee Mackenzie Talbot and Nadia Seaford. I see Andy Naja Kamabaj and Jacqueline Euphradas, Gloria Fraser. So good to see so many of you. Folks, there is such a fear that is permeating this society because of the PPP governance, and how vindictive they are. Somebody called me the other day on a very, very sensitive issue, and they said to me, I watch the program every night, but I don't comment, I don't like, I don't share, because, you understand, those of you who can share our live stream, can retweet our live stream, can subscribe to us on YouTube, we invite you guys to do so. It goes a far way in pushing the reach of the program. So folks, let's get through some of our hot topics this evening. So we saw a couple of things there that we want to draw to your attention, folks. And again, we can bring the whole PPP government under the theme, Guyana is not a real place. We can put the whole administration there. Guyana is not a real place. When you see some of the things that are transpiring. Folks, take a look at this. Imagine you got these installed people. These installed people went to give out some hampers, some part of the country, and they got to be garland, right? They got to be garland in these communities. right? So you have to get a welcoming party and people doing introductions, right? Installed minister so and so. This is Zulfikar Mustafa, and I think it was another PPP minister. It might have been Nigel Darmlal, right? And imagine to get little food stuff because you're in a hardship from taxpayers' money or donations, donors, international or local. You got to garland these guys, right? You won't think we're in a national emergency. When they turn up, you better put on your garland. You mightn't get a bag, right? And if you are um, perceived to be a APNU AFC supporter, cat eat your dinner, right? Cat eat your dinner. If you perceive to be a PPP APNU AFC supporter, cat eat your dinner. No flood relief for you, none. Folks, again, our numbers are up, and I want to hear from you. If you guys have any issues you want to talk about, you can call on WhatsApp, call on the WhatsApp number. Don't call by ordinary phone. I'd be happy to hear from you. So you got to garland these folks, right? Because this is a cult. It's not government. It's a cult. You got to bow down and you got to worship them. I must see pray or something, and then you got garland them, and then you collect a little bag, right? You got to collect a little bag. And if they go in some areas and they really want to demean you, they say, "Oh, you was a APNU supporter. Put on your t-shirt and come for your bag. Put on your t-shirt and come for your bag." You can imagine we have a national flood, a national emergency, and you got to garland these folks. That is where we are. Yep. To get a little relief. Folks, I want to turn your attention to the National Assembly. The National Assembly, because you all know this installed speaker. He has found every reason imaginable, every reason imaginable why Parliament cannot be held. Well, we're closing in on 100 days since Parliament has not been held. Over 3 months. We're closing in 100 days since Parliament has not been held. Yep. Since Parliament has not been held. And one gets the impression that the only reason why Parliament has not been held is because they want to have their majority when they go to Parliament. And as you know, the Chief Justice has kicked out Vikash Ramkasoon and Sarah Brown as MPs. She said they cannot be on the official list of electors and sit in the National Assembly in the manner that these two do as parliamentary secretaries and members of Parliament. And so since that has happened, and it's busy all over the place, he just had the opportunity to file the appeal. The court has not said anything as yet, whether they will stay the judgment of the Chief Justice until the appeal is heard. Right? But Parliament is set for next Thursday. So they choose whether or not they want to obey the law. I remember last night we played a few others saying you can pull two chairs and put them to sit down, but they got to be in Parliament. Defiant of the Chief Justice rules. Defiant. And the entire government has been defiant of the Chief Justice ruling. Right? Because all over the country, they got them and introduced them as parliamentary secretaries all over the country. And then again, these guys want to lecture us about constitutionality and rule of law and all of that when it suits them. Right? The hypocrisy of the PPP knows no bound. The sheer hypocrisy of the PPPC administration, folks, again, it knows no bounds. Right? This is Irfan Catfish they installed. Quite recently, again, tropsing around the country, sauntering around the country with, in the background, parliamentary secretary. Right? You think they care about the Chief Justice? No, no, no. They don't care about the Chief Justice. They don't care about the Chief Justice. And as an aside, is it me or Irfan and Priya take over half this picture? Irfan and Priya together take over half this picture. Them boys gotta get some extra wide lens. Folks, I want to hear from you on WhatsApp. You can call the number. So again, they are traipsing around the country, introducing these guys as, oh, they're parliamentary secretaries, even though Roxanne George Wiltshire, the Chief Justice, has pronounced that they are sitting in the National Assembly, the same as she pronounced on Onage Waldron, illegally. And these guys want to lecture us about obeying the law and being in conformity with the law, rule of law, and democracy and governance. These Jacobats. That being said, should as bus pipe. Now, Parliament is being held next Thursday. Parliament is being held next Thursday. they can't hold out anymore. Parliament now is being convened next Thursday. I think it's the 10th of June. Next Thursday. Right? So we're gonna keep you posted in all of the happenings. As a matter of fact, we're gonna be starting a half-hour show just looking at what's happening at the parliamentary level, separate and apart from in the ring. Separate and apart from in the ring. So we're gonna fill you in some more. So next Thursday, right? We're gonna pass 100 days by then since Parliament has been held, since they prorogued Parliament. One lie to the next. The speaker telling us one lie to the next. So next Thursday we're going to be meeting. They're going to be convening Parliament, and presiding will be the impartial speaker. The fair and impartial speaker will be presiding. Yep. That is what he wants us to believe, because we born big. Oh, he is fair and he's impartial, and he looks at the issues and decides on rightfully on justice and all of these issues at the parliamentary level. Fair and credible, valid and credible. Valid and credible. Right? Let me tell you one. I tell you on this story quite often. As a young man, I think it was in the 1995-97 election. There was this delay of the votes. That is the election when Janet gonna throw the court right over her shoulder. She got time with the court. Right? That was that had an injunction from preventing her from being sworn in. She got time with the courts. And I remember this Jagabat was then the leader of the TUF. And from all appearances, he was independent. From all appearances. So I remember there was a big commotion in the city, and as a young man, going down with some friends to see what's happening. I was a teenager. And I remember meeting Mansour Nadir, this Jagabat, and him saying, comrades, we gotta hold the line against these people. The PPP, hold the line against them. You understand me? They're riggers, they're this, they're that. Less than a week later, Nadir was a minister in the PPP government. I think he was minister of trade or tourism or something like that. Less than a week later, this Jagabat. Right? This Jagabat. And the whole auntie and sucky Tilly party disintegrate. Tilly party disintegrate. Mr. Fair and unbiased. The fair and unbiased speaker. I want to turn your attention now to some law and order issues. As we said, this is our flashback Friday. I want to turn your attention to some law and order issues. I want to flash back to that prayer by the chaplain of the Ghana Police Force, Master Patrick Dulichan, Reverend Patrick Dulichan, because that prayer, right, as we say, is so pregnant with truth. I ain't want y'all forget it, because that is the prayer that one of them boys at the police force, and we like what Dulichan say, right? They said Dulichan prophesy again. Prophesy again, Dulichan. Don't come wrong with funny with them kind of prayers, right? And then I'm gonna wade you through some issues, wade you through chest high water on some police force issues. This is the chaplain of the Ghana Police Force who was fired because of the quality and the content of the man's prayer.
Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in this day. We are privileged today as we thank you for our head of state, His Excellency, President Mohammed Irfan Ali. We thank you today because your word declare, oh God, that you have ordained him today to be the president of this great nation. And like Jeremiah said, that while he was still in his mother's womb, you ordained him and you set him aside to be the head. And today we declare that over our president today. Your word declared that all authority is given by God. And you said that we must pray for him so that we may live a quiet and a peaceful life in this nation. Like Solomon today, God, when he came to you, and when he was the head of his nation, he said to you, God, I'm a child. I don't know how to lead this great people out and to bring them in. And your word declared that you grant him the wisdom, and we declare today that you will grant our president the same wisdom and understanding that he will lead this great nation into great success. Today we declare over him that his body, that his health will spring forth speedily. We cover him today with the blood of Jesus. And we declare, oh God, that as he travels, in his going out and in his coming in, that angels will be with him and around him. For you said the angel of the Lord encampeth around them that feareth you. This day we lift the Guyana Police Force before you. And Father, today, if we are honest, we're able to say that this force is hemorrhaging right now. We stand in the gap and we confess the sins of this noble organization. We confess every spirit of racism in this organization. We confess the spirit of corruption and bribery. We confess the spirit of injustice. And we declare, oh God, if now, above all, we confess the disunity. And we pray, oh God, that right now, that this force is so fragmented that unless you help this force will continue to be in trouble. The words of Jesus declare that if any kingdom that is divided cannot stand. Jesus said any house that is divided will fall. Any institution, the Guyana Police Force is no exception. And if there's not unity and togetherness in this force, they will continue to face major issues. We pray for this force, even now, oh God, that this force today will understand that when they come together, like Joshua, as he was leading the children of Israel around the walls of Jericho, your word said, it was when they were together and in one accord, then the walls came tumbling down. Your word declared that even in the days of Solomon, when the trumpet cause division among you and avoid them. People today who God is putting themselves above this noble organization, it will bring disaster and calamity. So as they will be deliberating for the next couple days, let there be oneness among them. Let there be good relationship among them, because when they're in one and have good relationship, then they can accomplish the impossible today. Bless every aspect of their program. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
So that was the prayer, folks. That was the prayer. The chaplain, the gully chaplain dismissed. That was the prayer. And the man was onto something, because we have learned so much since that prayer. $300 million missing from the Ghana police force. Not 300,000, not 30,000, 300 million. Right? $300 million. Folks, we invite you guys, if you're joining us on Twitter, to give us a retweet. If you guys are joining us on Facebook, yeah, y'all fast. That's why y'all here by the hundreds. Give us a share on Facebook. And we invite you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like my page on Facebook, Sheridan Avery Duncan, or follow, and you get all the updates. Every time we post something on our page, it's show up in your timeline, makes it easier for you. So they didn't like this prayer, right? Some of y'all don't like church, whether it's the mosque, or whether it's the temple, or whether it's the Christian church. Y'all don't like church, right? Some of y'all sign out when pastors start praying there. Right? We know the police force, them boys at the top especially, don't like this kind of prayer. Right? But you see, I'm in tune on another level. And the father tell the eye, he said, Duncan, they won't go to church, but you're gonna bring church to them. So they dismiss pastor. They are like the prayer that pastor prayed. Right? So you have the 300 million missing from the Ghana police force. You got police who are now embroiled in legal matters, taking fellow police to court because of promotion, who want big job and who shouldn't get a job, and all kinds of worries. Right? All of that happening in the Ghana police force, and you guys are seeing with your own eyes what is happening with the Police Service Commission. The Police Service Commission. Irfan, Catfish Irfan, is trying to dismantle, right, the Police Service Commission. Imagine the life of the commission comes to an end in August, and they can't wait. Right? The things inside them, forcing them, the spirits, the zombies, the bakus, you understand? Program them, and they're trying to dismantle the Public Service Commission. If y'all just hold on at 2 months, things don't go your way, but no, them boys don't roll like that. Right? Folks, I'm asking you, if you call me on WhatsApp, I'd be happy to take your call. Do not call me ordinarily, because I cannot pull the audio on right now. If you call me on WhatsApp, we good to go. Right? Let me put it back there. Let me put it back that number for you guys. So you can call me on WhatsApp. Call. Right? So they're like that. They're fighting down Matty now, the police, in court for promotion and who shouldn't be promoted and all of that. That is where they are. The other day, they had the police association had 2 elections that gave me 2 different results. The Caribbean counterparts, and we are recognizing y'all. That's the police force. Me talking about the Girl Guides Guild, right? Or some little community council. This is the Guyana Police Force. Had an election for the police association. 2 elections. Produced 2 different set of results. But they're probably going to court too. And now we're witnessing before our eyes the dismantling of the Police Service Commission. Why? Because Irfan want his own people right? In all kinds of places. Irfan wants his own people in all kinds of places in the hierarchy of the police force. So on this program, we show to you information, some more of the madness, the police force, some more of the procurator. We're still on our hot topics. For instance, we told you quite recently, that the police force has a policy that you cannot enter into the police force after the age of 35. Right? After the age of 35. And quite recently, we came across a correspondence that suggests to us that a man was admitted into the police force at 53. At 53. You understand how Pastor talk about corruption and division in the police force? And how the things get them vexed? Because when you got the sanctity and holiness of pastor counteracting with the darkness inside of some of them, right? That is how they're going to react instinctively, dismiss the man from the force. So this man, 53, is watching retirement now after a year and a half. He's preparing for retirement. So the police force, in following its own rules and regulations, who watching the police? And the other issue we spoke about quite recently, we saw a driver and a secretary, right, being given an advance of 200,000 each to go to Port Kaituma to do investigation. Right? What has happened in the Guyana Police Force since August 2nd? Huh? What has happened in the Guyana Police Force since August 2nd? Anybody knows? What has happened since August 2nd? Confusion powder. So a secretary and a driver going to Port Kaituma and been given an advance of $200,000 each because the police force short staff of the trained investigators, perhaps. I'm stretching my imagination of the trained investigators. They are short staffed, and so they got to send a driver and a secretary. Just today, we released on our page the entire report regarding alleged breaches of discipline involving Senior Superintendent of Police, one Faisal Karimbash. And Mr. Karimbash, Faisal Karimbash, yes. The name of the report is on my Facebook page. You see why you need to like the page? You can get the updates automatically in your stream, and you can mind people's business right in your timeline. You only need to come to the page. You'll get the notifications. Right? Here what the report says. It's on my page, the entire report. The report says, the report revealed that on the matter that was being investigated, 2 young trainee police officers made a complaint to their superiors, right? That the way Karimbash was approaching them was funny. He was coming around them funny, and these young ladies, these trainee police, they weren't having it, right? They are some that believe we got to free up to get to the top. And so they held their ground. And the report found that the young ladies considered the behavior of Karimbash. This is the report that was submitted to the Police Service Commission, that the behavior of Mr. Karimbash towards them was of a sexual nature. The report is on my page. Folks, I'm asking you to share the live stream, retweet us, subscribe. The report, his advances was of a sexual nature, right? Was of a sexual nature. He gone up to the girls and he asking you want to know if they got a man, right? What it got to do with you? Unless you want to be the man. asking one of the recruits, according to the report, folks, push your phone number. He won't carry out. Why? Because she look like a hungry belly. She look like a hungry belly. See, you won't carry out. Right? And his advances were spurned. Tell you, I want 2 nights of coming in and show you, you're going to bring a dictionary. They were spurned, his advances. Right? And the young women felt that some of the disciplinary measures that were met out to them were as a result, right, of them resisting him. Right? They want to have chicken fried rice and a small cook. They say, Karambash, we're hungry. Right? We want to be professional young ladies, and that is why we were in the police force. So they resisted him. They said, we ain't come for the citation. Right? The last time we checked, this was a police force, wasn't a Shark Tank hotel. And we ain't come for that. We come to be trained. We want to serve our country. Right? Not in our backs, on our feet. And so they felt that, so according to the report, they felt that some of the disciplinary actions that came their way subsequently was as a result of the resistance. Right? Of the resistance. The report goes on to state that while from the information presented, there is enough prima facie evidence. On the face of it, that's what that term means. Prima facie, wherever school you went to. On the face of it, there is enough evidence to support criminal charges of sexual harassment. This is the police force, you know. This is not the community council. This is the Guyana police force, the hierarchy. Right? There is sufficient evidence to support a criminal charge of sexual harassment. The report goes on to state it is recommended, based on the circumstances and the sensitive nature of this matter, the senior superintendent, Karen Bash, be charged for acting in a manner likely to bring discredit on the reputation of the police force. So the report has shied away from the criminal charge for sexual harassment, but says because of the sensitive nature of the matter, the senior superintendent should be charged for acting in a manner likely to bring discredit on the reputation of the force. Right? Why wouldn't AirFund want a clean Guyana police force with decent professional people as against people likely to bring discredit on the reputation of the force? Folks, I have put the entire report. I have put the entire report on my Facebook page. And like the page while we are there, share it for you, Duncan. We have the names of the young ladies because of the sensitive nature of the report has been redacted, but all the other information is there for your consumption. Right? You can't trust the PPP. We can hardly trust the courts. And so the information is there in the court of public opinion. The information is there. And I hope you all like reading. I told you all, don't even come to our show, right, and be gullible. You got to do your own research, gather your own information, and then come to conclusions. But we work over time to ensure that the information we give you is credible. But you have your part to play as well. Folks, we want to invite you guys to share the live stream. Share the live stream. Retweet, subscribe. The other flashback this evening. But before I go to that flashback, while we're dealing with this issue of the Guyana Police Force and the deterioration we have witnessed over the last 9 months, right? I hearken back to the Facebook post of those three reporters from Kaito News who spoke about abusers being protected. Who spoke about abusers being protected. And one gets the impression that the Guyana Police Force has a lot of this. One gets the impression that the Guyana Police Force got a lot of this. And if you have been hurt by the hands of one of these abusers, I'd like to hear from you. My number is there, folks. I wanna harken us back a little bit to the flood of 2005. I want to take you back a little bit there. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss some issues pertaining to this flood and some of the similarities, the eerie similarities that we see in this current flood situation. So bear with us. We're gonna just give you it's a lot of content, but we're gonna just give you a couple of minutes of it, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss some other issues, some parallels to this 2005 flood. Right? Some of them you already know. By that time, you should have your phones ready to call.
You're pushing.
Pay 200 going, 200 summer. There is no money for biking for them kids. Yeah, right. This is called modern day road transportation. The road has been replaced. So the wheels were replaced by the boat.
So you can turn back now. Is he there right now? Yeah, he's in the boat now. He's in the boat. In the front boat.
You could see the presidential guy. I ain't playing for this work at all.
You can't take go away. Don't think you want to. That's what you want to finish. This is funky on board.
Hey, make sure I get. Hello, Lachi, take my picture.
Well, turn it back.
Turn, please. Turn left.
I can stand up.
Yeah, once you balance it.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay, I got it. I got the shot.
You gotta go visit other people too.
Turn.
Yeah, stop.
Come, Sean.
The residents insisted that you come out to say into this water. What's the feeling like, sir?
Well, the residents didn't insist. I just came out because I wanted to be out here and to see what people are going through. You know, this is the situation. Until now, many communities are still deep underwater, especially these communities, although others have had some significant drain off. So I want people to understand that we're not over with this problem as yet. Many people think that we're through with it. You can see for yourself how deep we are here in the water. I also want to dispel a lot of the rumors that are going around about, diseases and stuff like that. That's why I've been urging people to take the prophylactic treatment so that if they take it, I took it myself, the 2 tablets, and I come out here and I'm in the water. I'm not advising people to go in the water, but I'm saying that we must not cause any panic among our people. And I would urge once again that the people who speak on these issues must be authoritative experts, not anyone running around and mouthing off, especially health-related issues. But at this time, we're trying to get more pumps into these areas. As other areas dry off, we're bringing the pumps into these areas to get as much of the water out as possible. The water is still coming down a bit from the backland, so it's keeping these areas very high. So that's the priority, the health, and of course we'll be passing back we continue with the water and the foodstuff delivery.
Based on your advice from technical experts, sir, what's the estimation like, or minimum at least, that the water will probably be safe?
Well, it depends because we've had various assessments, and I'm very reluctant now to quote another assessment when they're proven wrong, because some people said 7 days, some said 20 days. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate at this time.
Thank you.
Okay. Just go ahead.
Agora vou falar em Modi. Pode estar em chat, tá agora?
I know, because they're going to go to other communities. Look, guys, here you go. They're working between Haslington and
Yep.
Transvaal. By tomorrow, they'll be here.
The parallel is that some people is crosses. That's the parallel. Some people is crosses to this country. Once they in power or got proximity to power, the 7 plagues is always released on the Guyanese people. Them is crosses. All right? Crosses. If you're watching program time, I wanna let you know that you can call if you desire. Right? But there's crosses. That's all I want to tell you. Crosses. Once they got proximity to power, it's pocketry in this country, and that is what we have seen. Right? I don't know if they share out tablets. Apparently, in the past, in 2005, they share out tablets. Right? I was made to understand by credible sources that GWI have no chlorine and have not been treating the water since March. That is what I was made to understand, that GWI has not been treating its water. No chlorine. Soon as they come in, suddenly cocaine plant in here. We ain't hear nothing about Belgium yet and that big cocaine bus. In 9 short months, we had the Guy Oil fuel racket. We got the mismanagement happening at GPL under Dindial and his acolytes. More blackouts. It's such a crisis. And folks, I admit to you, I will tell you this. Right? I would hazard the guess that they got a couple of good people that are PPP. Right? I don't know any, but I'm hazarding a guess. There are a couple of good people who are PPP. Right? I'm hazarding a guess. So we see Guy Oil and the racket there, the COVID cash grant racket you had, right? You got a big racket with medical supplies being shipped into this country. We got a housing development scheme racket. This is not 9 years in, this is 9 months in, right? You got the GWI racket and the firings of a GWI and across the public sector, right? There's a racket happening on the regional tender boards currently. Oh, and in quarry mining, oh my Lord, racket. Road construction racket. You got people who got no experience in road construction, suddenly getting big contracts, right? You got a racket happening at Gaisuko. Even former President Ramatar, the last puppet, spoke out publicly about the Gaisuko racket, right? You got printing money racket. Gas to shore pipeline racket at Wales. You got the mangrove racket, land allocation racket, shore base racket. 9 short months, And I got 3 pages of pocketory. And the dashpan they play COVID-19 and how they have disastrously mismanaged that. And then you got this national flood, right? And until we call them out recently and saying, why y'all not in long boots in communities? Right? Suddenly, everybody helter-skelter. Notice His Imperial Majesty was in that boat till he see the cameras, then he jump out and he start walking in the water. Photo up. Photo up. Is what you call that. In the boat going down. Right? The reporter said the people insisted you come out and see what is happening. In the boat. And then when he spot the cameras, he suddenly jump out. Right? Me and see yet. His Imperial Jags. Me and see in a community in a pool of water. Irfan trying. We see Irfan in the boat without the life jacket, then he went on land with the life jacket. He a little mixed up and confused. That is the role of a puppet. Right? That is the role of the puppet. But in all of that, folks, in all of that, persons have been talking about even the inequity, this fraudulent install administration. What else do we expect? Right? Just today, folks have been saying like the only place fraud is Region 6. The only place got COVID is Region 6. Because like all the medical COVID teams in Region 6, boasting 50% is a good thing of the adult population vaccinated, but why no place else? This is Guyana Chronicle. Look here again. Health teams span out in Region 6 to deliver medical assistance. Where else health teams span out to? Right? I am not seeing health teams in Kukwani that I told you earlier on. Right now, the waterfront 13 feet underwater. I'm 6'2" and I'm tall. Rockstone 12 feet underwater, still far above me. Right? Health teams span out to Region 6. This is the state news. Right? Additional pump. You all heard Jags talking, the installed Vice President talking about pumps on the East Coast there, where he was visiting in 2005. PP like pump. Right? Same thing. Now the rushing pumps to some areas, and we have spoken about that. Now the rushing pump to some areas, the light pump. Jagjo like pump. Now the rushing pumps to these areas. And look madness. look more confusion powder. Right? We're being told this is Freedom House. You gotta go. You have to go Freedom House now for your COVID vaccine. And to get the vaccine, you have to take a party card. Get the vaccine, you have to get a party card. Freedom House. Right? This is Dharamlal, the install Dharamlal. Getting the vaccine at Freedom House. I didn't see AFC being offered the opportunity to have vaccines come there. Right? My colleagues at the PNC at NU didn't tell me they have vaccines at Congress Place. Sydney Alicock, Gap, didn't tell me that they were offered vaccines at their headquarters. Right? But Freedom House got a vaccination team. And we're told you gotta collect a party card before you get vaccine. So while you can get second doses of vaccines of the Sputnik, any place, you're getting Sputnik at Freedom House, but you have to get a party card. You gotta get a party card. No confusion powder. This is the state newspaper. The state newspaper reporting Agriculture Minister, installed Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa today received his second dose of COVID-19. So you see, folks, we were right. This government infecting people with COVID-19 because Zulfikar Mustafa, according to the state newspapers, received his second dose of COVID-19 today. Right? He like drinks about, he even know we drink it. He taking anything. So he took his second, he thought it was a shot. He didn't take it, but it's a dose. He thought it was a 16-year-old. He like them 16-year-olds. But it's a second dose of COVID-19. That's what the report says. Second dose of COVID-19. Minister of Agriculture took. Right? The Minister of Agriculture, second dose of COVID. And somebody needs to get the Minister of Agriculture a proper tailor. Because we got a car, he tight and sweet just now. Everything tight. Right? You're not a size 1 minister. Installed minister. Get a grip on yourself. Right? You need a proper tailor. Somebody needs to tell you. They're like you. That's why they won't tell you that. You need a proper tailor and get yourself together after taking your second dose of COVID. That's what the state newspaper reported today. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa today received his second dose of COVID-19. Right? He says, Minister Mustafa is also urging all eligible Guyanese to visit the nearest vaccination site to get vaccinated. So he took his second dose of COVID-19. So they're sharing COVID-19 now. We know we were right all along. And now the state newspaper has verified it. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, they, right? 99 persons have died so far. Right? And they have 83 new cases. 83 new cases. 83 new cases. Folks, I don't think you need anything else that convinces you that this installed administration is not looking out for your interests and for my own. Right? When I got to put on an APNU AFC t-shirt so that you can get a photo up of me receiving a bag of goods that I'm entitled to as a citizen of this country in a national emergency and more, we're in a bad place. Right? When the ministers got to be pushed and shoved to go into communities and to see what are the needs of people who are suffering, we're in a bad place. And when all the relief just flowing up to West Coast, Babis, but none in flowing Region 10 side and lots of other places, we were in a bad place. But you can't say we didn't warn y'all. Right? You can't say we didn't warn y'all. Same old PPP. Sanitize, social distance, wear your mask, and practice all the other COVID-19 protocols that are in place for your health and your safety. You and I got to look out for each other because they are looking out for us. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great weekend. We're going to see you guys back on Monday. We are waiting for drinking your porridge. And like my Facebook page, as you guys are at it, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and give us a retweet on Twitter. Twitter folks, we respect you guys and we love you guys. We love all of you guys. Right? We don't care whether you're PPP, you're AP, and you AFC. We love all our Guyanese brothers and sisters. We may differ politically. Don't get tired. Have a safe weekend. Have a safe damn weekend.